Hello everyone, it's Ozgun here. I hope you are doing well. So last week I released Beyond, my latest Bigroom Techno track. It's a collaboration with Rios and it released on the Future Rave music. So first of all, I'm so grateful for all of the messages, all of the good feedback regarding to the track. And in this tutorial, I like to break down the track, show you how we made it. And if you're ready, let's get into the tutorial. So guys, this is the track. It's pretty old track. We probably finished this track last year. So I like to start with the first drop and then I'm gonna explain everything. And before I make the playback, I'm just gonna activate this. As I remember, I mastered this in a separate project. So that's why in this project, I'm just gonna activate the maximizer so we can hear it with full volume.
Together in symphony.
Yeah guys, as you see, like the first drop full of vocals and ear candies, like we wanted to give the full ambience, full atmosphere of this track's theme. So let's start with the kick and bass as usual. So this is the kick. To add a little bit more click to the kick, and I think this kick was one of the Lister's kicks. It's from his sample pack. In order to get a little bit more click, we have a dynamic band like that. It helps to kick to, punch through, cut through the mix. And we have a top kick. And after that, we have a rumble. Like heavily sidechained, like an offbeat. And this gives the, the techno vibe. But this rumble is very subby, so we needed to have a, a top bass layer. And Rios just made this perfect bass. So I just give a little bit compression to it and also, cut the low frequencies like that to separate it from the sub. And just the sidechain. But I think it's not even doing much thing because we already have a gap when the kick hits in the first beat. So the low end sounds like that. So after the low end, we got drums. Let me unsolo one by one. So as you see, I could write this rolling hi-hat pattern in a piano roll very easily, but I have no idea what I write it inside of the playlist. But you see, right, all of them has a different volume, different gain. That's why it's adding it a little bit of humanizing and it's adding a little bit of groove to the sounds. It's not flat. I think this is very important to work on the details. And also we got two of the top loops. Yeah, and in here in the hi-hat bass, I put a beat crusher. So I'm just giving it a little bit beat crash. So just adding another ear candy to the mid drop. Those are the drums. It's very minimalistic. And let's go to the ear candies, like the background sounds of the drop. So we got this. It's like the main step. So all of them are stems. Rio sent me those sounds. Let's see what processing I made. I just EQ it a little bit, make it fat. So without processing, I think it sounds like that. So just boosting it a little bit. Getting rid of the low frequencies. Just reverb. So the stem itself has reverb already. It was wet. That's why I don't want to, just drone it inside of the more reverb. But for example, in the build up, I could use more reverb. So I just automated some extra reverb, but I'm not using it inside of the drop. And we got a kickstart just a little bit. It's all like that. So the Bristol, I'm using it, as you see, in most of the channels. This is in the final stage of mixdown. Sometimes I'm using this plugin. This is just a simulation of an analog console. It's not doing anything. It's just for gain staging the channels. But in this case, I'm using it for, getting the analog taste, because it's kind of add a little bit depth to the sound, or maybe some hiss to the wave file, and it sounds less digital. That's why I'm sometimes using this kind of plugins. And other than that, we got this sound. Again, very nice ear candy. And we got this kind of like a drop lead, the first drop lead. And I'm always automating the volumes of the tails so they don't clash with each other, because we got 3 different sounds playing, next to each other. So if all of them has a long tail, they will clash. So that's why I'm reducing some of the tails to separate them in the mix. So those are the main sounds. Other than that, no need to mention that. We got the, sweeps, crashes, crowd noise. They are so subtle, very hidden to the back of the mix, but extending the drops energy, like adding too much. So those are the clap fills. Because first drop especially has tons of ear candy, not a real, big melody. That's why we needed to fill the gaps. So these huge reverb claps are helping us to fill all the gaps in the track. And other than that, guys, I think it's all noises and some stuff. This is the answer kind of second melody. So the processing wise, they are pretty much similar. Some distortion, some little EQ. So I use this one for stereo widening to this sound. Track spacer, because in the break, this sound is coming at the same time with the vocals, so we needed to separate them. Just some clipping and just some sidechain. Yeah, nothing much. So as you see, this sound is becoming the break main melody. We are teasing it in the drop. We are teasing it again in the last part of the drop. And in the break, it really comes and become the break melody. So this is a nice arrangement trick that I like to use. Just teasing the sounds just a little bit earlier. So we will talk to respace in the break section. Let's see, maybe we can talk about the vocals. So those are the drop vocals.
Together in symphony. Our destiny. Together in symphony. is all we need. Together in symphony.
And as you see, I have two different vocal chains. Like this section is for the drop vocals processed differently, and this section is the break vocals processed differently. The vocals are from a real singer. We find her in Fiverr. Even she's the same person that sing in my previous track, Walk Away, which is released on Reveal Trader with Castro and Pollux. So yeah, we work with the same person in this track, and she's doing a brilliant job in my opinion. So this was the first drop. Maybe now we can jump to the break section and talk about the vocals actually. So this is the break vocal.
Sound is all we need to find the real mystery. Together in symphony, we can find our destiny. Why do we exist? That is a real mystery. That is the answer that we need. Can we find our destiny?
Okay guys, without processing, the vocals sounds like that.
Sound is all we need to find the real mystery. Together in symphony.
So just the dry vocals. This is what you get while you work with a real vocalist. They just give you the dry vocals and you gotta do your processing. So in this case, as I remember, we quickly auto-tune it to just make the pitches a little bit perfect. And then one more real-time auto-tune. So this is just doing subtle thing. And you know, maybe I can load one by one so you can hear the difference.
Sound is all we need.
So this makes the pitch a little bit perfect and it fits better to an electronic music in my opinion. We got a compressor.
Sound is all we need to find the real mystery.
Makes the vocals a little bit more in your face. And then this EQ to just tame the sound frequencies that stand out too much.
Sound is all we need to find the real.
Virtual mix track. This is what I use most of the time. I got a huge chain in here. This adds some compression and some saturation. So the second one adds some drive. We got EQs. We got stressor. This is just air vocal preset, by the way. This is just like a compressor, and we got a clipper.
Sound is all we need to find the real mystery. Together in symphony, we can find our destiny.
So this is adding a little bit more character to the sound. Pop filter saturn, so more saturation.
Sound is all we need to find the real mystery. Together in symphony, we can find our destiny.
More EQ and de-essing in the end, because after all of the processing, the siblings are too harsh. And we got just a little bit plate reverb, just to put the vocal in a room, but it's not the real reverb, because the real reverb is this reach. And I think I'm gonna shoot a tutorial about the reach. Maybe some of you guys will be interested, because this plugin I'm kind of using in most of my sounds more than a year. And it just released a new beta version and got a little bit more features. Maybe we can talk about it. So the beauty of this reverb plugin, it also has, you know, 4 different modules like distortion, chorus, degrade, flanger. And all of those effects, you can change the order of them, you know. It's like not just a reverb plugin. It's like a multi-effect plugin, including 5 different effects. So a very, very cool plugin. I'm using this. As I remember, this is just the default preset. So 40% of reverb.
Sound is all we need.
Very long, very airy vocals. I like this. So yeah, I'm very happy with this chain. And then we got the doubles, like literally the same vocal, but a different take. So we are panning the doubles hard left and right and have a separate channel for them. The processing wise, it's very similar with the main vocals. And then the doubles are coming time to time. We even have the harmonics, like the third, like the fifths, but in the end, we don't like them and we didn't use them. They were sounding like that.
That is a real mystery. That is the answer that we need. Can we find our destiny?
But we think those harmonic vocals are kind of making the track too much positive. So that's why we didn't want to use them. And for reverb, it was like that. But for delay, I have a send. And in that send, I'm using an Echo Boy. So I'm EQing my delay like that. I just wanted to make the delay very narrow. And this is just sidechaining the delay signal with the vocal itself.
That is a real.
So now we got super clean and at the same time super wide vocals. So I'm grouping all of the vocals in here. Vocal bass, another compression, and I think that's it. Yeah. And the sidechain when it's necessary. So those are the vocal chain, guys. Now we can jump to the other break sounds.
Sound is all we need to find the real mystery. Together in symphony.
Take a look to the respace. It's a Medix preset from Revealed Recordings. And processing-wise, cutting all the stereo information till 600 Hz, cutting a little bit highs, decapitator to give it more character, Tikify to fatten the sound, and yeah, that's all for it. So we got vocals, we got respace. Let's see what else we got. I already showed you the plugs. And yeah, I use track spacer to separate the plug from the vocals because when they sing at the same time, the plug could mask the vocals time to time. And we got the pads in here. And that's it for the break, I think.
Is a real.
So let's talk about the build-up. Because in this build-up, I think we made a pretty good job because it's just rising the tension so perfectly. I love it. I love this section. So build-up actually starts like that. We are starting the build-up with 2 risers and a snare build-up. And I think we also have a flanger automation in the master. Let's be sure. Yeah, we got the endless smile, like endless cry, my version of it. But at the same time, we got a flanger automation. And we are teasing the Neve drop lead.
To
Man, I love this drop. So this is so Bigroom, you know. It's like my old blood is boiling, you know, when I listen this kind of drop. So we got very basic solve lead actually. As it seems, it's 2 layers. One of them is this. The other one is this. So one is more sharp and mono, one is more wide and sloppy. So they become a good team. Processing wise, let's see, just an EQ, a little bit more EQ. This revival makes the thickness, like make it very thick, and the shimmer button makes the top end more bright. I'm using the revival module a lot. A little bit EQ. This effector is just, you know, automating time to time and making this vocal effect, I think. Yeah, in here. Let me check. I think it's for the second lead. I think it's extremely subtle. We got reverb to fill the gaps in here. And we got the dispatcher, so for delay reverb. And OTT to glue the whole chain. And it goes to a synth final bus, more EQ, isotope trash, more saturation, more in your face kind of vibe, some clipping, and then sidechain. The first drop lead is like that. The MIDI is very simple, but it's like very, very fast and very sharp MIDI. That's why it's working. And in here we got the second drop lead, which is only 1 layer. And for the fill part, we got a fill synth, I think, which is this one. It's also panning left to right, so it's adding a little bit more ear candy. We got a horn stab in the drop. We got some hovers. And the other sounds are the sounds that were in the first drop. We got this rave synth. Yeah, you see all of the sounds are same. So basically the first drop is like the same drop without these drop leads, but with some vocals. But in the second drop, no vocals, but full of new 2 different leads and a fill synth. So yeah, which makes the first drop and second drop so different. You know, there's a huge difference when I listen to them. Total different energy levels. So this is what we wanted to achieve, like a very ambient first drop, a solid break, and a full energy all in kind of second drop. And I think that's it for all of the sounds. Maybe now we can jump to the mastering project. Okay guys, so for the mastering project, I just render my mix like that and put it to the separate project because I think that project was a little bit messy, like too much files going on. So sometimes I just need a fresh, you know, project to work on the mastering. So the first thing, getting rid of the lows, but in the sides, and also low cuts but with a shelf, but I think this is still too sharp. I'm not doing it currently, but it seems it was working in that case. So a little bit boost to color the sound and dip a little bit off to 300 Hz. Then it goes to a compressor, and in that compressor it goes to here. As you see, I'm boosting the high frequencies a little bit, so just giving a little bit thickness and shimmer and just clip it in here. So this Gullfoss, I barely use it now. But in that case, I used the Gullfoss like that, but I excluded the low end. Till 200 Hz, it's not doing anything, but to the upper frequencies, it's just taming it a little bit or recovering the missing frequencies just a little bit. But as I said, I'm not using it currently, so I don't know. It's not in my workflow for a while. So we got a clipper. It's just boosting the track a little bit, and also I reduced the output. So this is just clipping the sound. So we got like not more than 2 dB of hard clipping. It's good to clip the sound before sending it to the maximizer. And the maximizer, I use it like that. This track, I think in D minor or something like that, is very low key. It's so hard to boost the track because in the low end, so much stuff going on. I usually go clipping mode in here, but in this case, I decided to go transient mode. With the transient mode, you can still maintain the click of the kick better than the clipping mode. So that's why I decided to go the transient mode. Like -7 RMS, which is already extremely loud and totally enough for this kind of tracks, in my opinion. So yeah, guys, this is how we produce Beyond with Reos. It's released on Future Rave Music. If you haven't listened it yet, I'm gonna put a link to the description. Don't forget to check the track out. So today that was it, guys. I hope you can apply these tricks to your own productions as well. See you on the next video. Bye bye.